Hey everybody, welcome to Aniki, the podcast about anime with two brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm a miserable pile of secrets.
Where have I heard that before?
Could it be by a man named Dracula?
Yes, but I feel like you said this before, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I probably have. I've probably done it every single Halloween, or every time that there's a mention of anything anywhere remotely resembling a Dracula.
It's either that or during the that show that you can't remember the name of.
Hyolka? I mean, I may have.
Oh, you remember it this time. Good for you.
Of course. Why would I ever forget the name of Hyolka?
No reason.
It'd be like forgetting the name of Dracula.
So, what have you been up to since last we spoke?
Well, I've been immersed in all things Dracula.
Have you? Does that include Draculinas?
No Draculinas, nor Blackulas. I have read Dracula. I have played various Castlevanias, and I've been playing a lot of Bloodstained as well, which is the Metroidvania that's made by the guy who made Symphony of the Night.
Oh,
it's quite good.
We can talk about those games here in a bit.
But, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I actually read Dracula back in, when I was in 6th grade. I tried reading that.
It's tough. It'd be tough to read at that age.
First of all, I'd like to point out that the unabridged real novel was available in my 6th grade school library.
Huh, well,
so that's neat. It wasn't what I was expecting, and I didn't get through all of it.
It's tough, since it's basically a found footage book.
Before those existed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I remember it being really slow.
Well, so, I mean, I say I read it. I've been listening to audiobooks because the commutes in Seattle. And the one on Audible is very interesting because they have different people read different diaries, right?
Oh, that'd be nice.
So all the diaries by Mina are read by one woman, all of the ones by Jonathan Harker by another man, and so on and so forth. And the one who reads Von Helsing's is Tim Curry. So that's kind of nice.
Oh, that's delightful. I love it.
There aren't very many entries by specifically just Von Helsing, which is why I imagine they were able to get Tim Curry, because it's not very many lines.
Or maybe they just approached Tim Curry and like, hey, would you like to be Van Helsing?
And he was like, yes.
Yes, please. This is what I've been dreaming of my entire life.
But no, it's a good book. And I am reminded that Dracula Dead and Loving It is still the most accurate film adaptation of the novel Dracula that exists.
You're not wrong.
I am not wrong.
You're not wrong at all.
He's drinking wine and eating chicken.
Mm-hmm. Man, that was a good movie, even though it bombed so bad.
Oh, but it's so fun.
It's classic Leslie Nielsen. So I've watched a couple of the episodes, or a couple of the shows that we soft recommended on our last show. Would you like to hear about them? I watched 4.
Oh, sure. Why not?
Okay. So, first off, the Gunhead show.
Gunhead. Oh, how is Gunhead?
Surprisingly good.
I wouldn't say that's surprising. I
wasn't expecting much because he does have a gun for a head. And that was basically what we were running off of. But it has the feeling of somebody decided, hey, I like Ghost in the Shell. I like that aesthetic, that sort of milieu. What if we did that with noir, but used like the character designs from Helsing?
Oh.
I'm surprisingly okay with this.
Is it on anything? I forget.
No Guns Life. That's what that was. It's on Hulu.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
On Hulu.
You just have to deal with ads even if you pay for Hulu, which still makes 0 sense, but such is the world in which we live.
So the second show I watched, well, watch is a strong word. My wife watched it, and she likes it. It's fine. It's that Kemono Michi.
Kemono Michi.
And if you don't remember what that is, it's the one where the wrestler gets isekai'd and German suplexes a princess and then sets up a pet shop.
Yes.
It's by the same guy who did Konosuba. So it's got funny bits in it. However, they repeat those funny bits seemingly in every episode.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's okay. It makes my wife laugh, and I'm okay with that. But
that's fair.
It's not really for me. I prefer Konosuba, if anything.
No, I mean, everybody has their faults.
Yeah, well, I watched an episode of Babylon, and that's the political intrigue show that's just straight up politics, policing, assassinations, etc.
Yeah, how's that?
First episode was really good. There's a twist at the end of that episode that I did not see coming.
Is it a good twist or a bad twist?
It is a very good twist. I don't know what they're going to do with it yet because I've only watched one episode, but
Fair.
I didn't see it coming, and yet I should have. So good on it.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's very policemen discover a intricate government plot, possibly, and they found out things they should not have.
As you do.
Yeah, it has enemy of the state vibes.
Does it turn out that the food is people?
No, and Gene Hackman is not in it.
They're all in an artificial city being run by robots, the mob, scientists. Aliens?
That one might actually be true.
Oh, see, yeah.
I don't know though.
Got there in one dark man. Got it.
Yep. And then finally, I watched an episode of Fate Grand Order because I play it, and I figured, well, might as well watch at least one episode. And it is horrible. It is so bad. I can't express how bad it is.
Yeah, there you go.
The animation is garbage. Really, the only reason to watch it is Ishtar, and that's not even really a convincing reason.
Sure.
It expects you to know who all the characters are. So if you're coming into this blind, like, I've heard about this Fate Grand Order thing, I would like to know what it is. And you watch an episode, you have no idea what's going on.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's super cool. I love it. No, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Why would you do that?
It is what it is.
That's true facts.
Speaking of dead things and dust that should be blowing in the wind.
Yeah, I also watched, I thought we were going to... Well, actually, before we get to that, the other thing I did watch that is not related to Dracula is I finally watched One Cut of the Dead, which is amazing, and everybody needs to watch it.
I have not heard of this. What is this?
It's a Japanese zombie horror movie.
I do know that those are pretty good. Is this a recent one?
Yes, it came out last year.
It's probably
Don't read up about it. Just watch it.
Can you give me at least a pitch? Elevator pitch?
I just gave it to you. Okay, so there's a B movie, a B zombie movie being made, and real zombies attack.
And it's Japanese. Okay, I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes. 100% score.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's very, very, very good.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, do. It's well worth your time.
Well, how about this? Speaking of the undead.
Okay.
You want to talk
Dracula.
about Dracula?
Dracula.
So, for this Halloween...
Halloweeb.
For this Halloweeb...
Because this is our what?
Our Halloweeb Dractacular.
Yes, the Halloweeb Dractacular.
Yes. For our Halloweeb Dractacular, we decided to watch Castlevania, which is loosely based on the originally 3 games of the Castlevania video game series. I am so told.
No, it is loosely based on Castlevania 3 video game.
Well, the first 2 had like the plot of go into castle and kill Dracula, right?
Yeah. Kill Dracula.
Also, for some background, you want to give us a rundown of the games?
They're very early games. They're like the original Dark Souls. I played the original one. It is very hard. You don't heal until after you kill bosses.
Oof.
There are no save points because it's an old game. You kill everything in 1 hit, but they have a nasty tendency to kill you in about 2. Thankfully, the anniversary edition I got allows for quick saves. I quick saved a lot. I may or may not have saved between every time I hit Dracula because it's pretty tough. And I don't have the time to sit there and die. See, these old games, the only way they were able to increase the length of the game was to just make you have to play it a lot by killing you. So that's what it does.
Well, that does endear itself to a lot of people. I mean, they spent many hours on it.
Yeah. If you want a game that is like the original Castlevania, but good, I highly recommend Bloodstained, not Ritual of the Night, though that is also good. That's more like Symphony of Blood, I think is the one that's based off of. You want Bloodstained Call of the Moon?
Call of the Moon.
Curse of the Moon. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Excellent game. If having played the original couple Castlevanias, it feels like those games, only it's like playable and fun.
Well, that makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not very long. It's maybe like 2 to 4 hours. You have to play it twice to get the full story. It's $10. Great on Switch.
That's not bad.
Really tightly made game. It's excellent. It was made as a Kickstarter reward for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is also quite good.
So what was the third game that this is based on?
The third game that this Castlevania is based off of doesn't follow Simon Belmont, but Trevor Belmont, who's killing Dracula for the time before Simon killed him the first time. Don't worry about it. And it's the first one where you can change between a set of characters. In it, you had Trevor Belmont, you had Alucard, you had Cypher or Sypha, who in the original was male, though I'm not sure if it was intended to be male, because in later games they made them a girl. I think it's just one of those, it's old pixel art, and since Japanese doesn't have gendered pronouns, they just kind of assumed.
Fair.
Who was a wizard, and you could also become a ghost pirate. I guess they decided that was too silly for this, so no ghost pirate.
This would have been so much better if it had a ghost pirate.
I think so.
All right, well.
So this is more loosely based off of Castlevania 3 than the other Castlevanias.
Okay. So after watching all 2 seasons that are currently available on Netflix, what was your overall impression of Castlevania?
It's fine. I don't know why it has like a 90-something on Rotten Tomatoes. I really don't. The animation's good. I quite enjoy a lot of the character designs. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. So
I would agree with
how
that.
a lot. So all right. So it's medieval times. It's $14.95.
Yeah.
All right. Now you might assume, as a good European Christian man, that the church might be good, right? That this would be a reasonable assumption to have.
Yes.
Now I'm going to blow your mind. Okay, here we go.
Instead
listening. So you're thinking maybe the church, right? They're good because there's a church. Haha. But what if church not good? But what if church bad?
That's a hard pill to swallow.
Have I blown your mind yet?
You have blown my mind.
Yeah, well, Castlevania thinks it does when it does that.
So here's the thing. Okay, so my grand high-level overview of the show is the animation is fantastic.
Especially when it gets to the fights.
Especially in fights.
The fight at the end of season 1 is phenomenal.
It's a delight. I loved it. Like that's the sword fight with Alucard.
Alucard.
Right? Yeah.
It's Alucard and Trevor. Oh,
that's
real
pretty
good.
choice. There's another one where the two of them are fighting some night creatures. That's also pretty choice. So I'm not gonna knock
even the fight
animation.
with the Cyclops is really good. Oh, and that Cyclops thing is right out of Castlevania 3, because in order to rescue the alchemist, Sypha, it's after the Cyclops boss.
Oh, nice.
So it's exactly the way it is. So
I'm not going to knock the animation at all.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, that's where my praise stops.
Yeah, plot's not great.
It's just mediocre at best.
Yeah.
If you just watch it, it's okay. At no point while watching the show, after finishing an episode, did I feel the drive to push the go to the next episode button.
Exactly.
I was like,
I had to watch it in 2-episode chunks.
I could stop here. And then when I would come back from work, I'd be like, I could watch more of that, or I could not.
Yeah.
And generally, I chose not.
I could watch more Castlevania, or I could play some more Bloodstained.
Exactly.
Or I could play Castlevania.
Okay, for cultural context, I think this is one of the first serious attempts at an American anime style show, aside from Airbender, right?
Or possibly the first Teen Titans.
Possibly, but this is a super serious, a very adult show. For that, B for trying. You get a B for effort. I appreciate that, but for the level of animation, I expected a lot more in pretty much every other area.
Yeah.
I just don't know how it ended up being as flat as it was.
Honestly, some of my favorite parts of the show was the extended cast. I mean, it was good to have the Belmont there, but I was also a big fan that Kevin Keane was there. He was really good. He was a good leader for the whole rest of the group. Having his good friend Pitt or Kid Icarus really helped out. And you can't deny how amazing some of the fights were with Mega Man. I think those were great, especially when they were taking on King Hippo or Mother Brain.
I think you're getting a little confused.
Am I? Didn't we watch Captain N and the Game Master? Because it has Belmont in it, right?
That's a pretty deep cut for this audience. Not gonna lie.
Did I watch the wrong show again?
Yeah, I think you did.
Ah, shit.
All right, so if you want to go watch it. I guess we're going to talk about spoilers now. So to come back to your thing about church bad.
Yeah, church bad. Hey,
church bad.
Church bad.
That's the thing is Castlevania wants to say a lot of things and it keeps nudging you in the ribs about them. Like, hey, church bad, right? Science good, yeah, church. But it just gets so confused in its own messaging.
Oh, it really does.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, first off, let's start with the elephant in the room here. So it's 1495, right?
75, but yes.
Okay, sure. You know what wasn't a word in 1475?
Was it science?
It was science, okay? Now this bugs me, and I know it shouldn't. But if you're going to have somebody go around and be like, well, I try to practice the true science, at least have a common decency to call it alchemy or natural philosophy. It takes 2 seconds to figure out natural philosophy was the word for that thing.
Okay, maybe it's an anachronism that made sense in the script.
I don't think it does, though.
It obviously doesn't because they are shoving a lot of 20th century thought into what is supposed to be 15th century nonsense.
At least have the common decency to do that. And look, if you're going to burn somebody for being a witch when people can actually summon demons, it seems more reasonable now, doesn't it? It's like if you're in the 40K universe, the Warhammer 40K universe, and I don't know, you don't actually try to control mages. What? It's my same problem with Dragon Age, where it's like, oh, we should free all those mages from the church. It's like every untrained mage has a direct portal to the hellscape in their brain. They should probably be controlled in some manner. One rogue mage destroys a continent. This seems like it should be controlled by society in some manner.
You would think. But in this one, I mean, the messaging is confused even in just the first episode. They're burning her, Dracula's wife, for being
a real human wife. This isn't like a wife of Dracula type situation.
So they're burning Dracula's wife, which, okay, yeah, he needs a backstory, I guess, because why else is he killing people?
This is pretty standard, like, man pain nonsense.
Sure. It's all like, well, we're going to kill her for consorting with the devil. And, of course, we're, as the audience, told, well, obviously the church is stupid because, I mean, he's not the devil. But then 5 minutes later, he's summoning an army of the dead and ripping apart women and children using macabre, demonic, hellscape powers. Now, I don't know if he is Satan himself. However, it does lead one to question, well...
yes, but he only did that because they killed someone good. So he's justified. I don't know. It makes a whole lot of mixed messages because it's like, look, he's justified. And it's like, nah, he's not, though.
He's totally not. And when you have a guy who can summon demons and...
Yeah, two at least.
At least two. Then maybe the church has a point. I'm not saying they were right in this instance.
Oh, lands no.
Or that any of the priests depicted in this show were good guys. Because clearly they were not.
And here's one of my issues, right? Is that one of the things is just saying it does a blanket church bad instead of being like, look, local church corrupt, which makes more sense with the story anyway, considering later on in a scene in which Trevor Belmont like goes on a small rant about how bad the church is. He's like, now to use my church-blessed whip and holy water. It's like, now, okay, hold up. Hold up.
Yeah. Holy water.
It's like you can't do both.
Oh, you can do both. In fact, Cypher does both. We're told explicitly that, God is stupid, religion is stupid, a bunch of superstitious, blah, blah, blah. Forget those guys. They're all based on just hearsay and nonsense. Now, check out these awesome druids who do nothing except pass things down by word of mouth. Also, they do magic, and they happen to know the language
Literal
used
magic
before the Tower of Babel because God hates them. It's like, now hang on.
It's all...
It's just a confusion of, I don't know.
It has a confused lore landscape.
I just don't know what it was trying to say, but it really wanted you to know it was saying it.
Yeah, wasn't very good about it.
No.
And I like some good politics in my action show, but this leans a little too much where it's like, we're going to make this a political drama about boring vampires. It's like, all right. They discuss the most efficient way to murder people. Can I have Treasure Belmont killing more demons? That's the fun part of this show.
That is the fun part of the show. Throughout watching Castlevania, the thing I kept thinking was, why am I not just watching Hellsing Ultimate?
Because it does Hellsing Ultimate.
It does all the themes that you are expecting from Castlevania, except it does them well.
Yeah, because I think it even has like some evil church people, but it's like they're just a bad evil church sect.
Well, in Hellsing, you've got the Protestant arm, which is in England, led by the Helsing family. And you've got the Catholic wing that's headed by the Vatican. And the two are warring. One has Dracula. The other one has a crazy priest. And they actually, both sides have reasonable justifications for why they are doing what they are doing. They don't like each other. And maybe that's sort of stupid. But they don't like each other for justifiably good reasons on both sides. You get the church might be corrupt, or vampires are bad, but maybe they're good sometimes. And you get all of that, except it's done in a, I won't say respectful manner, because Hellsing is nuts, but it's done in a fun way, a coherent manner.
Yeah.
And it
has an internal consistency that Castlevania lacks a little bit.
And there's more nuance, which is saying something, because, like I said, Hellsing is bonkers.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. Fun to look at, though.
Oh, yeah. Another thing Hellsing has better than Castlevania is pacing, because Castlevania doesn't have that.
No, it doesn't. You know how long our main trio of action fighters spend in a basement reading a book?
I tried to
the whole second season.
I think it was like 5 of the 8 episodes of the second season.
It was most of it. And instead we go to like vampire politicking that's kind of boring and bad. Carmilla wants them to transport the castle to a certain location. This takes 8 episodes for her to convince anyone to listen to her.
So the first season somehow was too fast and too slow at the same time.
Yeah.
And then in the second season, we're like, okay, maybe we're going to get to know these characters better, said the showrunners. Now, this is an action type show. That's what it was sold to me as. It's vampire over there. You've got your Indiana Jones-ish type hero. He meets some friends along the way. They go kill vampire, right? And it's going to be a fun, rompy ride getting there, right? What I got was, we're in Dracula's castle. He's sad and brooding, which, okay, that is a typical vampire trope. That's fair. What I didn't want, and at no point did I think to myself, this guy that just got introduced, he's on Dracula's side. He's a human. He's on Dracula's side because he hates humans. At no point did I think, you know what? I would like to know why he hates humans. It doesn't matter. We just know that he's a turncoat and he hates humans. He also does some magic. That's sufficient in this context.
It really is.
I didn't need the show to come and say, hey, would you like 10 minutes about why he hates humans? No.
I mean, it's not particularly necessary.
And then the episode after, hey, would you like to hear the story about how he met Dracula? Nope. Not really interested.
It's not really necessary.
I'm good. Thanks. Hey, what about the crazy Viking vampire guy who has no idea what his accent is?
Yeah, it really doesn't. No.
Would you like to know more about him?
I was very happy when he died, so I wouldn't have to hear him. They just spend more time, quote unquote, developing the bad guys than any of the main trio of good guys.
You are correct.
And none of the bad guys have any decent development. Camilla's whole development is, my old sire was a dick. Men bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to lead a revolution. And then,
I'm not quite sure why, again, this backstory is not needed. It's not done well. You could just have, she wants to be in charge because she's a vampire and all vampires think they should be the vampire in charge.
I think what the show was trying to go for was, okay, you guys know that the good guys are good, so we're just going to set them aside. And while I disagree with that, maybe that's a valid choice. And maybe what they're going for was the bad side is not actually a unified front. So now we want to sort of split the audience's sympathies. We want to make Dracula a little bit more sympathetic than just his wife is dead.
Yeah, but they do it to such a degree where you're just like, you want Dracula to beat up all the other vampires and then get killed by Belmont. But they don't even do that.
No.
Which is what you would want. In that sort of scenario, you build up the doddering old fool is actually a secret badass and murders all of the people betraying him, and then he in turn gets murdered. That's how the story beat goes in these sorts of things. But instead it's Dracula mopes, and then his son beats him up. But not even really that, so... And he takes out all of his frustrations on the bad guy, on the good guys who you want to win, instead of the sort of splinter group of the bad guys who you don't mind seeing get killed. I don't know. It's all messed up.
What I would have liked to have seen, and maybe this is too formulaic and that's why they avoided it, I don't know. But what I was hoping to see was all this backfighting and Dracula's being mopey, but really, he's playing them all for fools and he has a master plan, and they're all just puppets and they don't know it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what you want out of this. It's kind of like having a heist movie where everything goes wrong, but secretly it doesn't, right? Yes, that's a trope that we all know, but that's why you're watching a heist movie, is because you like to see that. Mm-hmm. Same thing here. And you can say that, they were trying to do that to avoid the trope, but may I remind you that the whole show is predicated on science good, church bad, which isn't, if that's not a medieval like storytelling trope in the modern era, you can't pick one that's more popular than that.
That's accurate.
So, yeah. I mean, you can't use a trope avoidance as a justification for doing something that's, anti-tropey.
That was all. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, it really was.
I will say there are some highlights. I mean, the fights, obviously, but even there were some characters, like, not as a whole, but I liked some bits of characters. Like, I like the idea of this Forge Master role.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've not seen that before, so that's new to me, and I like that. I have questions about it, so that has made me interested in your lore, right?
Is it Isaac? Which one's the one from Africa? I like him.
That's Isaac.
He's interesting.
Isaac is a cool character. I wanted to see more of him. Every time we cut around to Hector, I'm like, yes, Hector's I know he likes pets and he thinks people are pets. Yes, I understand this show. I got it. Thank you.
Like, Isaac's an interesting bad guy.
He is. He's a more interesting bad guy than Dracula.
Yeah, which is a shame, because one is Dracula, Lord of the Night. He doesn't drink wine. So, I mean...
I didn't care about his backstory. I just liked the fact that he was evil, but he was a calm, collected type evil. And those are always the scariest, right?
Yeah, and a self-flagellant. Oh, no, he's good. He's a good tropey bad guy. I like him.
We did more Isaac and less the other stuff.
Also, his Murder of Godbrand was choice.
I enjoyed that.
It was very good.
Speaking of murder,
let's
talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Of many. Carnage. There's a lot of carnage in this show.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not one to scream away from carnage, but I did feel like a lot of it was superfluous.
Oh, you see, no. It makes perfect sense, because you see, Ben, cartoons aren't just for kids anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Did you know that they could, like, do a cuss and show a blood in a cartoon? It's revolutionary stuff, man. Like, the first episode...
Like, that stuck with me. I watched it when it first came out, when the first season originally aired on Netflix. Mm-hmm, and that first episode, it actually stuck with me. I can't remember any of the other carnage from the show.
Yeah, no, because once you do it, you're just like, okay, the cat's sort of out of the bag. You're like, all right, yeah, the murders killed them.
It is a little telling when towards the end of the second season, like, all the blood looks more like melted Jell-O than actual blood. Did you notice that? it started being like translucent and pinkish. I don't know if they ran out of budget for red ink.
Who knows?
But it would have been nice to spend a little more time with the main characters. Although maybe
It would have been nice to get to know them.
Some different main characters, at least ones that aren't one-dimensional.
Well, maybe they wouldn't be one-dimensional if they give them time to give them extra dimensions.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done like a side quest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think the idea was going to the Belmont house was supposed to be a side quest.
Yeah.
But it just
Instead, they just kind of act, and then they act like there's character development while they're researching, only it's never really shown, and they just kind of tell you that it's happening.
There's a lot of exposition.
It's like, oh, you've grown up so much, Trevor. It's like, oh, okay, has he?
Really? In the, like, what, week that you've known him?
If you say so.
Okay, sure. And then she's in love with him at the end. I mean, we all expected it, but it wasn't believable in the slightest.
No, not really.
It's about as believable as the love between Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves at the end of Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did expect Alucard to turn at some point, and he never did.
Nah, he's too busy being mopey.
I don't know if that was good or bad. I kind of like it, because...
Now, I know that this is a thing that's from the games and stuff, but I do love the audacity of Dracula naming his son his own name, but backwards. I love it.
Didn't they have a little line in there about how he was named? Like, his wife, Lisa, wanted to name him something else?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Well, because it's his middle name that's Alucard, or at least his epitaph. And if I had a penny for every time they say Vlad Dracula Tepish, it's almost as bad as like the tater salad skit, you know?
Really? Alucard. I want to look up what his actual name is, because now I'm curious. Oh, this art design's much better. I found the Castlevania wiki.
Oh, sure.
Oh, his name is Adrian Fahrenheit Tepish.
Ooh.
I like that better. Why didn't we get that? Why do you have to be Alucard?
Well, I mean, he is still Alucard.
But he's also Adrian Fahrenheit Tepish. Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit's good.
Ah. But if he were a real man of science, he would have used Celsius.
That's true.
Yeah. So was Wallachia supposed to be Romania? Because that's how I kept reading it.
No. Well, Wallachia, so that actually shows up in the Dracula novel. It is the old name for that area. Here we are. Wallachia is Romanian, is a historical geographical region within Romania. So it is a real zone, a real area.
Now, I don't want to get all pedantic, but let's get pedantic.
Yes.
Wasn't Romania and isn't Romania Orthodox and not Catholic?
Okay, look, don't worry about that. Look, I wind up with that problem all the time. I listen to No Sleep podcasts, and you know how many times they do like weird stuff that doesn't make any sense? I was just listening to a story the other day where they had a priest come from another town, so he's assigned to a church, lives in a parsonage, and has a wife and child, and is definitely not Orthodox. So, I don't know, like High Church Episcopalian, maybe?
Hey, he could be Eastern Catholic.
Okay, he could be East. No, it wasn't Eastern, right? No. They had a piano and a sanctuary and a, quote, stage. So I don't know what kind of church this was.
I don't know. It sounds pretty demonic and vampirish to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, no, you get that a lot in these sorts of things. Or I've heard many stories set in Russia that they're just like Catholics. I mean, the nun, for one, I think does that too.
There's a lot of that. It's like, do about 5 minutes of research, dudes. It won't hurt. I think, to summarize...
Church bad?
Well, church bad. When I was explaining this to somebody who's... I said I was watching Castlevania, they're like, oh, I love that show. What do you think of it? And I was like...
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it's kind of bad.
No, I phrase it like this. It's heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And I left it at that. It's heavy-handed.
Yeah.
When you got, hey, church bad, obviously, but then doing stuff like, hey, see, the cross fell down. See, look at it. It fell down. This one melted too. You see that? Look how dumb it is. Ha. Come on. Just, come on.
There's the one I want to show you. So there's, well, like, yeah,
it's right next to
real.
Transylvania.
It's right where and all this is Romania now, but this is in Moldavia. So they're all sort of squished in there together.
That makes sense. It is sitting there right next to the old Ottoman Empire.
And in the novel Dracula, They do not specifically state that they are Orthodox, but they do a lot of things that are sort of repugnant to the Protestant Englishmen that are wandering around Transylvania. So,
well, it does make me a little happy to know that the cities and stuff that were in this show, while destroyed in brutal and horrible ways, are real places.
Oh, well, there you go.
Targovista is a real place. So is Braille.
Yeah, and it does have a Catholic church in the middle. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And then he wouldn't be a bishop, then would he? Probably not.
Also, question: how does an undead bishop bless a river?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I call
that.
Shenanigans on that. If you raise a bishop from the dead, I do not believe that they can bless water. I do not think you can do that. I think that breaks lots of rules.
It's like the only way you can make that work is if you world build a way to say there is a deeper magic. God's still stupid, but there's a deeper magic, and if you mouth the right words and you happen to have a certain title associated to you, then you can bless water or whatever that means in your world. But they didn't do any of that, so
the only way you can really get around this is like the Eucharistic issues of the Russian Orthodox Church when they knew that they had KGB priests, right? Where it's like, is that still valid? And they came up with, yes, it is, for reasons. But I don't think that extends to being undead.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think those extend to undead clergy who are doing it for a reason that is explicitly evil.
And I also don't think you can bless water just by saying Father, Son, and Holy Spirit in Latin a couple times. It's like, I think it's because I've watched water being blessed in the past, and it takes a very long time.
Takes a while. Yeah, a lot of these rites take a while.
Takes at least a half hour, if not longer. You accomplish it in a couple seconds.
And I also know we do a blessing of the waters as Orthodox. So that means they probably do that here in Wallachia all the time. So the river should already be blessed.
That's true. It should already be blessed. Found a plot hole.
I mean, there's many. Yeah, I'd forgotten about the whole... I think it's because I wasn't quite sure where Wallachia was. But yeah, now looking it up, yeah, no. Because at first I was like, oh, Wallachia is made up. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's probably not then. And it's like, oh, well, then they should all be Orthodox. Womp womp.
Wasn't that area... I mean, it's right next to the Ottoman Empire. Was it ever conquered by the Turkish army after the fall of Constantinople?
Well, I mean, probably... No, because Vlad Tepes stopped them, remember?
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. The Turks stopped because Vlad Tepes murdered and piked a whole bunch. And then they were like, let's not invade this place.
That is a silly place. Let's not go there.
Because, I mean, walking through a forest of your own dead all impaled tends to put the kibosh on most armies' morale.
It's a bit of a Debbie Downer.
It is a bit of a downer.
All right. Well, let's put a stake in that one.
Well, I mean, or a spit.
What are we gonna watch next time?
I don't know. Not Castlevania. Hey, what's that? What that Survival Club show?
Oh, Sabagebu? Yes, I will watch this again.
I just need to know what's on.
Looking.
Oh, there it is. Survival Club. It's series. It is on Crunchyroll. Yeah, let's watch that.
Okay. I will watch Sabagebu. I love that show. It's hilarious. Do you like guns?
I mean,
too bad you like them now.
I've been known to enjoy the gun.
Well,
I like it more when it's a man's head.
Fair. All right. Well, for next time, we'll watch Sabagebu. We'll see you next time.